And welcome to the Village Live. Welcome.
Welcome, y'all.
Listen, I'm your girl, Dr. Roz, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC.
And I'm your girl, Coach Williams. I guess, they already know me.
Oh, Lord.
But I am the content supervisor for the Village Leadership Group, LLC.
You did it right. All right. So, again, welcome to the Village. We want to encourage you guys, inspire all of our teachers and our educators, and also salute you as well. It's Women's History Month. So we want to spotlight our teacher leaders, our female teacher leaders and school leaders. That's right. The spotlight is on you today.
As always. Today we're just going to highlight a little bit more.
Exactly. So listen, as we're celebrating Women's History Month, this is also a time for us to reflect on our journey.
Oh, Lord.
So let's think about our journey to leadership. Within the Village, we're always talking about how teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. So we want to talk about that journey. What does it mean to be on this journey to leadership, right? It's not like you just arrive, you have this position, say, oh, I'm a leader, I've arrived. No, but it is a journey, and you're constantly reflecting and also learning.
I was going to say being pushed.
Exactly. So we want to talk about our journey to leadership and share with you guys, again, to encourage you to take that leap to leadership. And remember, it doesn't mean that you have to be out of the classroom. You can be a leader right in the classroom. Because, again, people say, you want to be an administrator, you have to do this to be an effective leader or to have impact. But we want to shout out our teacher leaders who are doing their thing right in the classroom as well. All right, so I'm going to start by asking Coach Williams.
Ooh, me?
Yes, to share a little bit about her journey to leadership. So we're going to go way back.
Wait, I'm not that old.
Okay.
Let's go back like 2 days ago.
Anyway, let's go way back. Why did you even choose to be a teacher? Let's go way back. Why education?
Why education? Because my teddy bears told me to no. But no, honestly, it does go back that far. I've always been called, I feel like, to be a teacher. Just playing school, right? But I think the first memory I really had that really made me feel like I can do this is tutoring, like our brother. He needs some help. Cousins and other family members. And to see them really get it and see them understand it. And then that branched out into me helping friends. And I've always been just a little bit competitive. And thinking to myself, I can do this better. If I can explain it at this age, imagine what I can do and who I can reach when I get older. So that was really my why when I was younger. And then when I got a little bit older, I know I'm rambling on, but when I was in school, I felt like I wasn't prepared. And you always hear how females, African-American females, African-Americans in general, aren't ready for mathematics, might not be as smart. And so I felt like I was dumbing myself down. And I realized when I was in college, I never wanted any other student that looked like me to have that feeling. So that was another piece, little tear.
Right. So that's your why.
That's my why.
All right. So you're teaching in North Carolina. That's where you started in your career. So how did you transition to being a leader? Because a lot of times people think, I'm good. I'm in my classroom. I'm teaching my children. They're getting it. I'm rocking and rolling.
Test scores bomb.
Exactly. So how did you start developing that leadership mindset?
So I think it's kind of twofold. I didn't realize that I was being developed as a leader. I think it was just my natural intuition to help people and to see that they actually were listening to me. I was like, okay, guess what? I got some impact. I got some influence. And then being pushed in different roles. I've had a lot of people in my career push me and afford me opportunities that just help me kind of get out there. I talk about you all the time where, they know everything. But no, I remember you telling me countless times, try this, do this. And I always felt like I was not ready. Mm-hmm. And other people seeing that in me and being like, okay, I guess she's right, and just taking a leap of faith. I think what really cultivated me is when I really started to hone in and realize, oh, people are listening to me, and they're coming back and telling me the impact that I'm having. So it's the divine intervention, how everything just works together.
Right. So you talked about impact and influence, because that's something that I always tell teachers. You have so much influence over your peers and your colleagues. So as a teacher leader, you want to have impact in your school, because you guys really have so much influence on your school culture. Yes. And you want to have that build that collaborative culture. So as a teacher leader, one of your first roles was in a coach, right? Or department chair. Department chair. So,
well, actually, I was the lead for curriculum writing. Ooh. Just out here.
All right. So you're writing curriculum, the department chair. So how did that transition from being a teacher to now having that position as a teacher leader? How did that happen?
Woo.
How was it?
So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think I was gonna get the position. I told myself that I'm gonna start preparing myself. So I was a leader at a previous school, and I was doing like professional development, what I thought was on a small scale. And I went to an interview, again, just preparing, and I was able to speak to every single question. And, not no fluff. You know how some people can get on the interview. And these were genuine experiences that I was able to pull from. And I was just like, oh, wow. And then I was offered the position. And to be honest, I was terrified. I was like, oh, my God, they actually want me. And what am I supposed to do? I felt like at the very beginning that leaders just arrive and they just know it all. Right? But it's that mindset, right? It's not just the position, like we always say. I had to, I leaned a lot on my other colleagues to kind of show me the ropes, which then I realized they were kind of learning the ropes too. So that position, just jumping out there. And I always say, I see a need and I feel a need. I look at what teachers are struggling with. And as a leader, my leadership role is really to support them. And I see what do they need and how can I be that support for them to carry on the work.
Awesome. So as a teacher leader, you're advocating for your students, but you're also advocating for teachers as well.
Everybody. It's tiring.
So let's move forward. So here we are. You're still on this journey.
Still on the journey, girl.
You're still on the journey. And I want to hear how does your current role, how does this prepare you for your next? Because think about your future goals and aspirations. How are you working towards that? Because one of the things we talk about within the village is to be intentional, right? So how are you preparing for your future goals and aspirations?
So this might sound corny, but honestly, the village. I really do appreciate this opportunity, being able to speak to our village and our village elders, and they're pouring into me. We've had entrepreneurs on here. We've had leaders at different levels, just so many different things. And that honestly has lit a fire in me to start my own thing. And I'm just pulling in all of these resources. We talked about building ourselves. And I'm just trying to see what I can, I don't want to say take in from others. Exactly. Even in my current position, I'm looking at the needs of the school, the needs of the teachers, and I'm kind of compiling a list like, I can do this. This is what they really need, breaking that down. So I'm the village is helping me kind of push me and nudge me, but also taking in, again, what people really need.
All right. So I love it. So one of the things that we also talk about within the village is, again, being intentional, but the different strengths that we have.
Yes.
Right. And making sure that we are using our strengths and maximizing our strengths. So what are your leadership strengths that you bring to the table?
So my top one is relator. And I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes I can relate so much that I might give too much of an aid to people and that gradual release. But also, I think that relator piece gets the people to buy into me. And then also another one of my strengths is communication. So I guess I can break stuff down. I'm kind of impressed with myself. But those two leadership strengths, I think I really hone in on like every single day, even in ways that I didn't even realize. My interactions not only with the staff but students. I'm able to talk to them. These are the students that I don't teach. It's easier, I felt like, to build those relationships when you're in the classroom, you see them every day. But just that simple hello, good morning, and not standing out there one day and the kids like, hey, where are you? So, or whatever my communication style is with them. But that communication and being able to relate, those are my qualities that are my strengths, and I hope to never lose that, even as I go up in my positions.
Awesome. So again, guys, we have to be intentional about using our strengths in our positions. And then think about too, how will those strengths show up for your next level of leadership?
Woo, yes.
So it's so important. So guys, we have a guest with us today. I know we kind of talked a little bit about Coach Williams' journey, but I'm going to talk about my journey as well. Yes. But we also have Miss Tammy O'Donnell joining us today. And she is an awesome teacher leader. Oh my goodness, she does a lot. Like, I'm going to let her go down her long list of things that she do for her school, for her students and school community. So much. So welcome back to the village, Miss O'Donnell.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Welcome back to the village.
I know, right? I feel like I'm a regular now. Like,
exactly. Elder. Yes. So we are shining a spotlight on our female school leaders, our teacher leaders, our administrators, everyone who's doing their thing, having impact in our schools, right? Mm-hmm. And building collaborative cultures and making sure our students are improving, our teachers feel supported, all that good stuff. And being a teacher leader is hard work. So let's talk about it.
Especially this year. I think it's harder this year than it has ever been.
Yes.
Yeah, just because there's so much going on, right? And if you are automatically inclined to support students anyway as a teacher and to support parents and to support your school, it has like quadrupled how much you have to support them now, tenfold even, because there's just so many things that have happened in between a regular school year, and post-COVID school year. So I think that it's hard, on those of us who want to help. I guess, my son always says, you never say no, Mom. You always say yes. You never say no. So he's like, and he's right. I don't say no. I do say yes to everything because I'm just that kind of person who wants to fix stuff, make stuff better, advocate for things.
Yes.
So yeah, and I think that this year, I've had to say no to some things or step back a little more than I would normally because I am just so tired.
Right. Teacher burnout is real. Especially for our teacher leaders, because, like you said, we always do so much anyway, but now it's so many other things that we have to do. So we've been talking about our leadership journey and our mindset, because within the village, we always talk about how leadership is a mindset and not a position, because some people kind of sit back and they feel like they're comfortable in their four walls and they're like, oh, I'm not a department chair, I'm not a team leader. And that means I don't really have that leadership mindset. Mm-hmm. So I want to hear from you about your journey to leadership, to teacher leadership. Tell us a little bit how, you transition from being a classroom teacher to really, I think you always had it, but how did you transition from being a teacher to having that leadership mindset, that teacher leadership mindset?
So it's funny because before I went back into the K through 12 world, I was teaching at Prince George's Community College, at a community college, where, after 2 years, I was kind of promoted to that chairperson position and then the chair of the department position. And after doing that for almost 15 years, I was like, I'm done. Like, I just want to be in the classroom. Let me just teach for a little while. And that lasted all of like 10 minutes when I got to this classroom, because then it was like, well, these kids need this and my teachers need this.
Right.
And I thought to myself, you just changed locations. You're doing the same thing you were doing over here for 15 years. You're just now doing it in this location. So, I mean, I have always, I guess I was just brought up to be that helper, right? Like somebody that will answer the call, who will see an injustice or see an inequality and try to make it better. My mom always said that, you know, she was always the mom who donated things and gave her time and showed up at things all the time. And I guess I just kind of followed in that footstep, and I tried to be that way, you know, ever since high school. You know, I remember the girl who nominated me for student government, and I was like, what? You want me to do that? Like, I never thought of doing that. And I guess
Let's break it down.
Yeah, like, you know, and then I was like, all right, well, that's kind of cool, and I could do this and that. And then I think it was just a natural transition to, I'm not that person who can just stay in the classroom and just teach and then leave at 3:00 and then not think about the kids and not think about what needs to be done. I've just always been that way. And I've been very fortunate to have people surround me who were like-minded, who were like, you want to do this? All right, let's go figure it out. Let's go do it.
Exactly. So I want to talk about advocating for students, because I think that that's part of being a teacher leader, right? Or being a leader, a school leader, period. Right. Is that you see something, like you said, you see a need, feel a need. And Miss O'Donnell and I, we're at the same school. And even you came to me about a situation with one of our students, and you were like, can you advocate for him? I'm like, I've been doing it. Like, I've been doing that. So part of being a teacher leader, and again, it's not about a position, but when you are a leader, you want it to serve your students. And if there's something going on where your students need more support, they need resources, they need assistance, they need, you know, maybe they need a policy to change, you know, right? So again, we are the advocates for our students. So talk about that, Ms. O'Donnell, how important it is for our teachers to advocate for our students.
Well, that's part of our job, whether it's in the job description or not, right? You know, we are trying to create, I mean, you know, I say this to people all the time. We wouldn't be anywhere without teachers. Right. I mean, if you think about it, we touch every single life in some way. So for us to sit there and say, well, I'm just going to teach this novel or this grammar or this science, and that's it, you're teaching the whole person. So you're modeling good behavior, you're modeling leadership, you're modeling character, you know, and I think as an example of that, you have to show compassion, you have to show the fight for justice. And it could be something like, you know, a transgender student who wants to use a bathroom to, we just need we need library books. Like, we need books in a library. I remember when I first started teaching, not having a classroom library and thinking, oh, I'm supposed to do that? I thought I would get it. You know, I thought they would supply that. And then I thought, well, no, I guess I should go out and get some stuff. And I mean, now I just had students today come by who weren't even in my classes. They were like, we heard you have this book. Can we borrow that book? Sometimes it's as simple as that. And sometimes it's way more complex, right? Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 teacher leaders to get together and say, listen, this student needs this thing. And we want to advocate for them. We'll work together to make it happen. So, I mean, we're their voice. They're scared sometimes to go to administration. They don't think administration would listen to them, right? They don't think that their voices mean anything. And if I've tried to do anything this year, it's to really push for them to use their voice. They don't think they have a voice. You know, they want better school lunches. I said, did you talk to anybody about it? Have you written a letter? Have you made a phone call? Like, I can't go in there and cook for you. You know?
Maybe.
I mean, I could, but I don't know that you'd eat it. Right. So I think that that's so important to kind of be that voice and to show them how to use their voice so that they don't,
Right.
I don't want them to be dependent on me for every little thing. Right.
Right.
Can you talk to so-and-so about my homework? No, I'm not going to talk to them. You got a voice, use your own voice. But I think that, it's important for us to show them how to do these things so that they'll learn to do them for themselves. That's
And
part
you
of
know
teaching.
what?
That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear all the passion with the students, but here's a twist. How do you, I would say, empower your colleagues to use their voice? Because a lot of times they'll come to you and be like, "Can you tell Dr. Roz about this?" How do you empower your colleagues to speak for themselves, advocate for themselves?
Right. So the first thing, I am a very active member of my union. So I have learned kind of like, first of all, for me, empowering my colleagues means letting them know about their contract. What does it say you have to do? And what does it say you don't have to do? Right. And then what can you do? What do you want to do? I think there's a lot of conversation that has to happen with colleagues. And I know that before I came to the school I'm in now, they were not very active in the union. They didn't know what was going on. And one of the things that I try to do is tell them, not just within our little community, but do you know what's happening with education across the state, across the country? You know what's happening in the county? Because again, if you want change to happen, you have to use your voice. But if you don't know what's happening, you can't complain about it happening. You weren't a part of the solution. You weren't a part of the decision making. So I talk to my colleagues all the time. I'm popping in and out of rooms all the time. And I do try to be that support though, right?
Right.
Like that's one of the reasons why I asked Dr. Roz today about that student, because now that I know that she had been advocating for him, now I can tag team and be like, hey, I know you've been talking about that. That's great. Let's go.
Whoever you are.
The student needs this thing and we want it to happen. So we will tag team and make that happen.
Exactly.
But that's that team approach, Right.
And that's, again, we have to advocate for our students and advocate for our teachers, because again, we had a staff meeting not too long ago, and the teachers were complaining about students showing up late to class all the time. And at first I'm thinking, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, really, they can't give out a piece of gum or do something in their class to make the students get there on time. But I had to kind of reflect and say, as a school leader, what can I do to support the teachers? Right? So I had to develop this whole school-wide plan with consequences and rewards for students to get to class on time.
Wait a minute. First, you had to calm me down.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was one of those teachers that was like, I am so tired of these students coming to my room late, interrupting my teaching, right? And she was like, all right, sit down. Figure it out. But that's what a teacher leader does, right? You sit and you listen. She said, go ahead, tell me what I need to know. What's okay. All right, now let's figure out how to fix it. And I think that is so important, because sometimes teachers just feel like they're not heard. I see this in my work with the union when I go to board meetings or I work with administrators. You're trying to explain an issue, a problem to them, and you can see they're not even paying attention to you. They don't even see how important that is. I went to the school board, to a school board meeting once, and I said, I know that you guys hear about all of the list of things that teachers want. Here's what I want. I want one bulb for my projector. That's all I'm asking for. Somehow nobody in my school, nobody in the county can get me a projector bulb. It's $100. I don't have $100 to spend on a bulb. So can I just have just that? That's all I want. And within minutes, before I even sat back down in my seat, there were people overcome. Okay, I'm the chief of IT. What do you need? I'm going to come to your school tomorrow. And I thought, why does it take me, having to come up here and ask for this one thing? Just one thing that I need. You know why? Because it looked bad, right? It looked bad for a teacher to ask for just one thing to do her job. And I think that's part of the problem with, how people view education right now is teachers are complaining. We're tired. but we are just tired because we want what we need to do our jobs to serve our students. And it's hard. It's hard.
So
but we did fix that. We did fix the whole problem. We did fix that.
We're in the, but you know what? It took a lot of teamwork as well, because I was getting on your nerves.
Culture change, though, right? You're coming to a school that's never really dealt with these kinds of issues. They just kind of complained about them, but didn't actually do anything to make it better. So a leader steps in and says, all right, let's try this. It didn't work. Let's try this. Let me see how I can figure it out. And that's what you have to change the culture of, oh, wait, she listened to me? Like, she thinks it's a problem too? This is great. Right?
Yeah. But you know what? But as a teacher leader, Miss O'Donnell, you were part of the solution as well. I was going to say, because I could have just went in my office, figured out something all alone. But I think that is, again, adding to the problem. Mm-hmm. You know, if we're going to really solve the problems in our schools, we have to be collaborative.
Right.
And teacher leaders have to work together and work with the school leadership team to really be solution oriented.
And the students.
And the students.
You know, and once we inform the students, you know, this is why you can't be late. It's not because we just want you here and, you know, to stop bothering us. It's because you're missing valuable information when you come in 10 or 15 minutes late, or even 5 minutes late, you know. And now I crack up in the hallway when I say they have 1 minute, like everybody's racing to get to their class. And some teachers are giving incentives, like, all right, here's a sticker, you got here earlier. Here's a bag of chips because you got here on time. You know, I think that is such an important thing, that when you change the culture and the mindset in the school from complaining to, you know, problem solving oriented, it makes such a big difference in how everybody can work together and see some progress being made.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. As a leader, what would be your number one piece of advice to an aspiring leader?
I think I've gotten to the point now where just don't be afraid to ask. I think people get hung up in they tried it before and it didn't work, or they're not going to like my idea, or I just got here, I'm new, what do I know? I remember when I first started in middle school with Dr. Gaskins, you know, there were so many times that I was like, I'm just going to hang back and kind of see what's going on. And again, that was like 5 minutes. And I was like, no, we got to fix it. We got to change this. Nope.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
5 minutes. It was it just took me 5 minutes to get the lay of the land. And then I was like, nope, we're going to do this. We're going to fix this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you know, advocating for students, advocating for teachers is so important. It's part of the role of being a teacher leader.
Yeah.
And like you said, Coach Williams, teachers have so much power, so much influence over their school culture. So we don't want our teachers to sit back and not use that power.
Use your voice.
Oh, it's so important. Exactly. So listen, Miss O'Donnell, again, we're shouting out our school leaders and teacher leaders. So kudos to you for all that you do.
Listen,
you do so much.
I love it. I love what I do. You know, again, it makes me tired. It frustrates me sometimes. It makes me angry. I had a day yesterday where I just didn't want to people. I was like, nope, don't want to talk to anybody. Don't want to open my door. Like, I just want everyone just sit down and do your work. Well, I was working through some things in my head. Like, how can I fix this problem so that I don't feel like this, right? So I think that's, you know, there's a level of self-care that has to happen as a teacher leader too. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to be an effective leader. You're not going to be able to mentor the future, you know, teacher leaders in the room. And I working with Dr. Roz, please, like, there's no better model of teacher leader that I've worked with. No, seriously, that I've worked with. Like, when she came over to my school where I am now, I was like, yes, now we can fix everything. Like, he's a force of nature, you know?
But, you know, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having that confidence in me. Because I know when I was looking for a school, you definitely pulled me and said, "Oh no, this is a great school," and it is a wonderful school.
It is.
But again, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
And that's what, even me as a teacher, a school leader, I'm always collaborating with teachers and with students to figure out how can I improve what I do, right? Because I'm in the business of serving. And I want to serve the students. I want to serve the teachers in our building so that we can build this wonderful school culture. So again, Miss O'Donnell does it all. She's being modest, but she's PTO. She works with the students, the parents, after school, every day, just about yearbook club, every club, associate.
And I have a kid of my own.
What'd you say?
I said, and I have a kid of my own.
Well, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, who told me like at 5:30, oh, by the way, I need stuff for track tomorrow. Can you go up to Dick's and get me? I'm like, I just worked all the, let me get in the car.
So again, to all teachers who have a list like Miss O'Donnell, shout out to you. And if you are a female and you wear that cape because you are a superhero, happy Women's History Month.
For Shiro.
Right,
yes,
a Shiro. Yes, wear your cape, wear it proud. Do you?
Yeah.
Salute to you, Miss O'Donnell. Thank you for coming back to the village.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So listen, that was good. So if y'all want some more advice from Miss O'Donnell, y'all can find her here in the village because she is a village regular.
I was gonna say she does everything.
Yes.
You need this?
If you need some advice, call Miss O'Donnell. She know it. So again, guys, we are saluting our teacher leaders, our school leaders, and also all of our women sheroes, because it's still Women's History Month. Continue to do great things and have that power, that influence, impact in your school and your school communities. Any final words, Coach Williams?
You took all the good words.
I'm sorry.
The word.
Okay. Hey. Well, continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Village LG. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. See you next time.
Bye, y'all.